Today we're at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Florida, and we're going to try to put our rope drop strategies that we use at Disneyland and California Adventure to the test in Walt Disney World. My disclaimer here is that I have not been to Walt Disney World in probably 10 plus years, so this really is going to be a newbie experience. If I can do it, you can do it too. We had hoped to get up for early entry, but coming from that West Coast with that 3 hour time change, it did not happen, but we got here pretty darn close to rope drop. It's about 8:10 now that we're actually in the park. We originally thought we would go to Pandora Land and rope drop. I can't remember what the name of the big ride is, but it's already saying it's at 70 minutes. So we're not going to waste our rope drop on that. Instead, we're going to go to the Navi River Journey because when we checked that about 10 minutes ago, it was only a 15-minute wait. Granted, that might have changed now, but we're going to try that out. And then I think our plans are to go over to the safari ride and the um, Expedition Everett ride because we do not want to waste a rope drop. We did, in fact, change our mind because we went over there and it was going to be a 15-minute wait. So instead, we are looking for otters. I saw one, it just swam by, but now it's not here. I shall move. Alrighty, so my thought was to go over to Expedition Everest because it's basically walk on right now. But that's the other side of the park, so I got vetoed. Instead, we're going to go on the Kilimanjaro Safari, which happens to be my absolute favorite ride of any Disney ride anywhere that I've ever been on. And that opens at 8:30, so by the time we walk over there, it should be just about opening. It's only 8:20, but they are in fact letting people on the line, so we'll head in now.
Skull structures, they call them prehensile tongues. That means long and bending. These those tongues from around branches and pulled leaves out of trees. This antelope that just crossed the street in front of us is a bongo.
That still
Here
holds
as we
true, I
follow
think, one of my
them
favorite rides. We really wanted to
through
get
the area here. Now bongos
see them when they're more
are
active,
the
and they tend to be more
heaviest
active
antelope
morning,
here in.
and then they get more active at night again, and it slows off.
There's some more giraffes. Everybody's got the zoomies this
In fact,
morning.
it was an extremely long ride.
For safety reasons, there are so much smaller antelope out there to the right-hand side as well. Those are springbok. Males can weigh about 100 pounds. Looks like these are just. Now, the world record for speed on a cheetah was 73 miles an hour.
Physically move their animals.
Don't typically quite get that fast. Right now, I'm going to go around the other side. Hopefully, we'll find a
But
few
it's
more.
not that
of
long
them.
ago they tried to
See,
really do highlight.
with one male and several female lionesses. Lionesses will go to night and hunt, while the male stays back to protect the
All the
pride.
animals
Looks like they've been watching the rhino show as well.
Savannah, and the lions were awake. It was a phenomenal ride. Really hoping that we could
But despite that, they have the same amount of bones in their neck.
So we are now headed into the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Um, I They said this is a 15-minute walking trail, no big deal. This is my favorite park. Well, the Disney's Animal Kingdom is, I don't know, I just love this park, and that's probably because I really like animals. I love the safari. The safari was awesome because we stopped a bunch of times, and so because of that, we got to see a ton of animals. It was a lot longer ride than it normally is, and so even though we're not doing ride, which I know this park is not very heavy on the rides, this is really what I love coming to do. It's like the best of both worlds. It's a theme park and a zoo all rolled together. I have officially become a wilderness explorer scout. Anybody can do it. It's completely free. There were 24 badge stations, and we're gonna go. I was gonna say we'll go see them all. We might not get all 24, but we'll see. Oh, here's my next spot. So we've gotten two badges so far, but it's a cute little book. We've not done any of the other activities in it, but if you like, there's like things to do if you're like a little kid or an adult that wants to do it. And turn the page one forward. No, the other direction. You don't have to, but you can. Like this is so fun. I don't think anything. I don't know. I don't know if you get anything minus the huzzah badges, but like this page that Andrew just stole from me there's like clues as you walk through the exhibits. Like it'll say, "What's the trail marker at trail marker number 1?" So if you have like kids that maybe you don't want to walk, or this is like your third park like ours is, and you're like, oh, you get to the middle of the trail and you're like, I'm a little bit tired, it gives you a little bit of incentive to keep going, and it gives you something fun to look forward to, something to find as you're walking around the animal park. It's a really really cool book, and you're going to learn cool information about animals that you might not know. When they give you the information, you go meet with the I don't know. Are they called scout? They're not called scout leaders. I don't know what they're called. But they'll give you fun facts, but it only takes like 30 seconds. So you're not taking a bunch out of your day to do it either. Headed into Dino Land, we definitely made the right choice with the Kilimanjaro Safari. When we left, it was saying it was 45 minutes. It's a lovely day to be out here because I think Animal Kingdom, all the parks have a lot of walking, but Animal Kingdom, since it's more like a zoo, or parts of it are more like a zoo, is so much walking, and it's not hot today. Hooray for Donald's Dino Bash. This is really fun. I don't have any kids that are going to be interested in this anymore, but my kids would have loved this back in the days. And we're going to run in there in the Boneyard Graveyard for a Wilderness Explorer badge. Just saw Donald at Donald's Bash, and now we're going to go see beautiful Daisy. Oh, she designs all of the clothes. No wonder they're so fancy. That was a must-do of our trip, but we really wanted to see the Monkosaurus and Donald's Dino Bash, and so that has been accomplished. I am so happy that we get to be here at Dino Land going on the dinosaur ride before Dino Land becomes extinct. I know we're down at the countdown to extinction, and I was actually a little bit afraid when we planned this trip that we were too late, but we are not. Um, I went on my honeymoon to Walt Disney World. It was the first time I'd ever come. And when we came, we went on the dinosaur ride. Animal Kingdom had just opened as a park, and this was my favorite park that we went to. We got a dinosaur puppet when we were here, and I was really hoping to be able to get another one because it broke many years ago, and we might be too late for that, but at least I get to ride the dinosaur ride one more time.
Hello there. Welcome to our little trans-dimensional joyride, folks.
That was so much fun. I really did not remember much of that ride. Mine is that it was a fun ride, and it was. It was fun. It was fast. It was dark. There's dinosaurs coming out of nowhere. I suppose I see why they're getting rid of Dinosaur Land because it's empty back here. That was like a 10-minute walk-on ride. Nothing over here is over a 10-minute wait. But it's a really cute land, and it's a little bit sad they're getting rid of it, but I'm excited to see the retheme. We're going to go on Triceratops Spin because it is also only a 5-minute wait. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I really like Dino Land, not even if, because I think the rides that they have back here are cute and their playground is really fun. And their wait time for the rides cannot be beat. So once they change this land and retheme it, this is probably going to be really crowded, and then it won't be walking anymore, and that will be a little bit sad.
It's fantastic.
It's at the Dino Bite shop or cart, store, food cart, whatever. It's delicious. It has vanilla Haagen-Dazs ice cream in it, wedged between 2 sugar cookies. It's dusted in probably Oreos. It's delicious, killer value, $8.29, and this thing is huge. It's bigger than my hand. Definitely shareable. We got 2, but I think we could have been just fine with only 1 for all 4 of us. Yummy. Go grab it before it's extinct, gone, because this land does not have much longer.
No, but Kevin's running away.
That's funny.
We are going to go into Expedition Everest. It says it's a 35-minute wait. Hoping to do this a couple times today. That was not a bad line at all. It had a posted time of 35 minutes when we got in it. It ended up being about 37, so that was pretty spot on. And it kind of looked, I'm not sure how they merged the lightning lane and the standby lane because we moved pretty continuously the whole time. And there was stuff to see. There was a museum at the end, and that was fun to look at the stuff in there. That was way different than I thought it was going to be. It started out, and I was like, oh, this isn't that fast or that big and whatever. And then when you start going backwards, it was like, okay, this is a lot. And my stomach was like, oh yeah, this is a lot. And it was fun. It was much faster than I thought. There were a lot of surprising twists and turns that I was not expecting. It was a fun ride, and at 35 minutes, slam dunk, no genie needed. And we got here just in time to see the Finding Nemo show.
Nemo!
Dad, it's time for school!
All right, we're excited. It's your first day of school, Nemo. We're ready to learn, to get some knowledge.
Come on!
Okay. First, who's there?
Nemo.
He's got a little fin. We can call his lucky fin. If I can get tired, just give him a break. He'll be all right. Let's go explore.
For lunch today, we went to the Flame Tree Grill, and we got the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese. Looks delicious. I have not tried it yet. My kids did and said it was really, really good. There's a decent amount of pork on here. Now I'll come back for the pork. So macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is good. I've never had bad macaroni and cheese at Disney Resort ever. I'm going to have a little bit of the pulled pork with some of this coleslaw. I'm not normally a fan of coleslaw, but their coleslaw is really good. It doesn't have a very vinegary flavor. It just adds a nice crunch to it. The pulled pork is super tender. Their barbecue sauce that they're using is delicious. This is really good, and I think it's a pretty big portion. That's good. The other thing that I really like about Flame Tree Grill is that there was tons of seating. And not only was there tons of seating, but there was a lot of shaded areas, and it's really pretty around here. They've got like this little pond area, fountain with like birds in it. It's just a really pretty, relaxing atmosphere, and the food was delicious. As we were walking over to Africa, I came across the tropical shaved ice. This was major impulse buy. It is absolutely delicious. My kids, it's mango on the top and watermelon on the bottom. My kids are like, do you even like mango? Apparently I do. This is yummy. Love shaved ice. This one's good. Go get it. The timing worked out perfectly. We were able to go watch the drummers that we wanted, and then we went to the acrobats. And AD was actually even a part of the show. And then at the end, I don't have any videos of this, but at the end, all of us were part of the show and dancing on the stage, and that was super fun. From there, we're taking the train to Rafiki's Planet Watch, and we didn't wait at all for this at all.
Here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Make this more like a rounded triangle. And that's what drawing is always about.
That's why it's all fuzzy.
Angels are that.
We've also got pigs here that you can pet. We believe this might be the one that they based Pua off of. I'm not super convinced, but maybe. I do know that they did in fact
bays poo off one of the pigs here.
Apparently, the exodus of Animal Kingdom has begun. We just looked it up right now, and Kilimanjaro Safari is 10 minutes. Flight of Passage was 30. If you didn't care about the shows, like I really wanted to see the Finding Nemo and the acrobats and the drums and stuff. If you didn't care about the shows, I feel like this would almost be a better park to go to another park first and then park hop over here. I think it's way more crowded in the morning than it is in the afternoon because I think a lot of people use this as a half day park and then park hop out. And this is really the only, one of the only times I've ever been here. So this isn't something I've charted, but that seems to kind of sort of be the trend.
Well, so far, so good. This is Pandora Flight of Passage. The outside when we walked in said 60 minutes. The app when we first looked at it said 45, but that's to be expected because you see that and it's like, run. So far, we have not stopped at all. We're just walking. We are definitely changing our strategy for this park in the future. We will either rope drop another park or sleep in and then come much later in the day because it's spring break and there's really no lines right now for anything. The Kilimanjaro Safari was 10 minutes. This is saying 60. Feels nice in here. I didn't look at the other rides because that's just where we happen to be in the park. But the park just feels empty. There's really nobody here. The lines for food are crazy short. This is a great time of day to be here.
That was sort of insane. So our consensus after getting off was that we liked it. It was cool, but we would never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, wait more than an hour for it. And I don't think anybody would ever pay Lightning Lane for it. Would you? Is there anybody here that would have paid for a Genie Plus Lightning Lane for it? I don't think so. That's also true. We don't care about Avatar in the slightest. That wasn't a movie we've watched or anything that we were like, oh, we got to go on this. And there was so much hype going into it that maybe our expectations were too high. But we got in the line when it said it was 45 minutes. We're like, okay, this is cool. And we didn't stop at all. Like we walked basically continuously until we were almost on the ride or really close to the ride. We were more than halfway there. And then they made we didn't move at all, like not at all for probably 20 minutes. And then they finally made an announcement that some of their rooms or whatever were down. They're like, so it's going to be a little bit longer. And then it was at least another 20 minutes before we moved at all again. So, I mean, not at all, not at all. Like they were just not funneling anybody from the standby line at all. And I think they must have just been like, okay, well, we're at limited capacity. Hang on. So we'll just do, and to just be stuck in that room, not moving at all was just aggravating. And then finally they must have fixed something and decided that standby could go on it again. Because then after that, all of a sudden, we moved really fast and we're on the line. Went from being the last room to being on the ride in a matter of under 10 minutes. I think that the theming is amazing. I think that this is very comparable to like Cars Land and Disneyland or Star Wars Land. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think that the ride itself and the way that they did it was absolutely gorgeous. It was stunning. But I wouldn't wait for it again unless it was under an hour. And if it broke down again like it did this time, I wouldn't wait. I think even though we'd waited like 45 minutes to an hour at that point, I would have bailed. It was not a wow ride for me. I loved Tron. I loved Guardians. I'd do that again in a heartbeat, even though we waited a decent amount of time for those. But actually, we really didn't wait for Tron. The Tron virtual queue was really good. Guardians, not so much. But yeah, it just, I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea, especially not with the hype.
Remember the time I didn't pay any attention to where we were supposed to be going?
Yeah.
So we came into the Pandora restaurant. It is beautiful in here. The air conditioning is nice. It is such a chill place. Highly recommend the atmosphere here. I also love that they have the refillable drink stations, which is phenomenal. We got the cheeseburger bao buns, as we'd heard everybody had raved about it. Um, AD absolutely loved them. Hannah liked the bao bun itself. I don't know, Benny, did you like it? I think it's pretty good, but it's not my favorite thing that I've had this trip or even here. I think I liked the barbecue mac and cheese pulled pork better. Have not tried this yet, but I will say this: these chips are amazing. They are delicious. Was not a fan of the coleslaw at all, but generally I don't like coleslaw, so that is not surprising. It was a decent amount of food, though. I will give it that. Super, super shareable. All of us have had some. AD is taking the inaugural bite. It is gorgeous. Is it good? Apparently, because he's going back for more. Did you like it? Now he's just going back for chocolate. He's not saying anything. He's stunned silence. He either hated it or it's the best thing he's ever eaten in his entire life. Okay, the purple color. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the gray stuff. Look, it's on the little cookie. The outside looks like the gray stuff. This looks delicious. This is delicious. But I'm going to tell Benny that it's not. Benny, this is not good at all. Don't have it. This is really, really good. I would totally go get another one of these in a heartbeat. I feel like we were doing really well. I was gonna say making great time. I don't know if that's the right word, but we'd done a lot. We were, I guess, making great time, timing the rides just right. None of the rides were super long line until we hit Pandora's, and that kind of killed so much time. That killed like 2 hours of our day. And then we weren't super excited by it anyway, but that's how it goes sometimes. We'll know for next time. We wanted to finish up our night with It's Tough to Be a Bug. Love this attraction. This has so much nostalgia because this is one that used to be in California Adventure and is no more. So we wanted to round up our night by doing It's Tough to Be a Bug. And then we absolutely loved the dinosaur ride. So we're going to finish up with our last ride at the dinosaur ride. Overall, I think we did okay putting our strategies to test, not using Genie Plus. There's nothing that we didn't do that we're like, oh, really wish we could have done that. We originally had intended on doing this as a half day park or leaving around like 6 or so and going back to the hotel and swimming. But that didn't turn out the way we wanted it to because Pandora kind of made our plans come to a screeching halt. That being said, though, I would still absolutely use this as a half day park, but I would reverse it. Instead of coming in the morning and rope dropping, I would come in the afternoon. During this last hour that the park was open, we did It's Tough to Be a Bug, and then we did the dinosaur ride, went on the Yeti, and we're going on Cali River Rapids right now. Everything was walk on. We did not wait for anything. The park started clearing out around 4 to 5. So if I was gonna do this again, and in the future, I would swim in the morning, do stuff, sleep in, whatever, and then I would probably show up around noon and spend the rest of the day here. Thanks for joining me on this Moosin adventure, and I'll see you real soon.